Maggie Ward, and I'm going to teach you how to use Freckle in the classroom. It's a fantastic way to differentiate your students, as well as collect data that you seamlessly need to always prepare. This is very easy to do. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to add a class. On your left-hand side, there's a dashboard. You're going to go to roster, and you can add a new class, which you can import from your Google Classroom, or you can add multiple classes if you can add intervention classes and you can name them. Also, as you can see, I've generated about 10 students, and sometimes you get a new student, so you just go to class options and add a student. You can add existing students or add a new student, and I'm going to quickly add a new student. And you can choose the grade level, and you can also choose whether or not you want English or Spanish. Then it comes up with a class code. When you have Chromebooks, you can simply log in, the student can put in their name, and they can put in their class code. Another way that you can get their students login is to print login cards. If you have a QR scanner, you can easily scan the code and it will take them directly to their login page. There's also the code here as well. Then you have an activity feed, which is great because you can see all of your students' progress. You can see what assignments they have completed. You can see how much time they spent, what grade level they're at, how many questions, and what their score is. I love this too because you can also track their progress in the last month or the last 3 months, even the last year as well. You can filter it by subject. So if you just want to see assessments, you can see only assessments. And same with math, ELA, and social studies as well. The next thing we're going to go into is we're going to go into assignments. You can see all of the assignments that you have added, and you can easily add an assignment with math, ELA, social studies, and science. We're going to go and play in math today. If you want to have your students practice math skills and standards, build fact fluency, or apply math to real-world contexts, all you have to do is click on the desired button. You have math practice, which is great because this is very adaptive, and you can even watch a video on how adaptive it really is. You can have them assign a lot of these skills or standards to help with independent practice, homework, or exit tickets, even centers, small groups, and intervention. If your student has lost technology, for some reason it doesn't work, I like this because you can generate printable worksheets. Another thing about this button is you can do benchmark assessments. So you can assign benchmark assessments, and you can use this to drive your instruction and data monitor whether or not you need to have that data ready for parent-teacher conferences, or you need to talk about a specific student with intervention to help get them a little more help. We're going to go into assignments. As you can see, if you have a school edition, you have a lot more options, but you can do a benchmark assessment or inquiry-based lesson. You can build fact fluency, which is great for homework or a quick nitty-gritty. You have some extra time, you want to do some fact fluency. It's very independent, and you can also use this to assign fact by operation. So addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, depending on what your student needs. If I wanted to assign a fact practice, all I do is I just go ahead and add an assignment, and I'm going to do math. I'm going ahead and do a benchmark assessment. Let's say I have student 10 who I really need to see where they are at because I'm looking at some more intervention skills, and I want to see what they are like in the 3rd grade. I want all of the standards to be addressed, and then I can just quickly assign that to them. I want to show you what the student app looks like for math. They also have a dashboard. This is great because it gives them incentives to want to be on Freckle and to want to do their best. As you can see, they can probably see the student board. Maggie Ward has 209 coins, and maybe I want to beat Maggie Ward because I have 189 coins. You can collect these coins, And then you can also spend it in the Piggy store. One thing I love about the Piggy store is that it only gives them a limited time that they can spend in the Piggy store, because time is money. They need to get back and they need to be in the curriculum. So the Piggy store only lets them about 3 minutes in the Piggy store, and then they have to move on to another assignment. They can see their math activity and their ELA activity, as well as the bottom. They have math, and they can take pre-tests. As you can see, they took a pre-test for measurement and data, and they can practice all of the questions in measurement and data. If the student does not read very well, but they're amazing at math, they can simply get this read to them.
Kayla is outside measuring objects for science class. She measures a leaf at 6 inches and a stick at 10 inches. How many inches longer is the stick compared to the leaf?
The great thing about this is that on the right-hand side, you see a blank page. Students are very visual, and they also like to doodle or draw pictures. So they can do that with the pen. So she has little sticks or leaves or something. And she can also use her numbers. And she can also they have operations as well. So they can keep practicing, and they can also do more assignments, and they can do more pre-tests to see where they fall. Back to the teacher app, the same way that you can create assignments is in also ELA. You can read articles and stories, practice skills and standards, and you can also build reader fundamentals. I love the articles because you can do nonfiction articles, and you can also do fiction stories. It can help with independent reading and guided reading, also whole group instruction. You can easily assign an article, and you can easily assign a story. So I'm going to go ahead and assign an article. I'm going to choose Harriet Tubman because we're in social studies and we're working on Black History Month. The greatest thing is that you can have this on your students' reading level, and the whole class can have the same text, and we can still summarize and work on our standards of summarizing main ideas. So this happens to be a 7B article, but let's say I have a student reading at a 3B. Well, the text is still there, but it's on their level, which is great. So you can also have the option to print with answers if you want kids to highlight and you want to go through them as a small group instruction. And you also can monitor what questions they are getting wrong as well. Another thing that I like with ELA is that you can also practice skills and standards. So they might need help with inferencing or main ideas, claims and evidence, or point of view. You can use this as centers or homework, or also independent work, which is great, and also word study, which is very independent. There's a lot of gaps that could be with their decoding with a short A or long A, and they can use this for word study. So you can assign word study based on your students' skills. There's also benchmark assessments just like math, so you can also help monitor your data and use that to drive your instruction and help with intervention. With math and ELA, there are reports that you can get. You can get report cards, so you can see that Maggie Ward needs to work on short A and long A, and you can see where her progress is for her word study. You can do a word study matrix, which kind of tells you if they're currently practicing, mastering. And I want to show you what it looks like in the student app. In the student app, if they were to go to ELA, they can choose word study, skills practice, and the ELA library, as well as extra vocabulary practice. I'm going to go to the ELA library because I might be a reader and I might love nonfiction or I love fiction. I'm going to go to fiction and I'm going to choose, I love realistic fiction. And I'm going to choose Crash. And I'm ready to read. And I can read and turn the page, and I can answer questions afterwards as well. Another thing that they can do is the skills practice, which they can work on point of view. And I love that the video comes up because it helps them teach new learning reading skills. It gives them little tips on what to look for when they are reading. And that video is always right here as well. So they read their passage, and they can just choose the question. Then another thing that they can do is they can go to assignments, and they have a making connection assignment. So they need to start practicing that. Then when you go to your teacher portal, you can see all of the progress that they have made. And you can see their reports. This is a great app for you to differentiate all of your skills as well as keep track of their data. This is a one-stop shop, and the kids love it. It's highly engaging, and I hope that you enjoy it as well. Thank you so much.